Hello and welcome to another jungle tutorial. My name is Virkayu, and if you hate the ADC meta and you hate Yasuos and you wish to destroy them, well, in this video we're going to be looking at one of the best, if not the best, solo carry jungler for most ranked brackets at the moment, Shadow Assassin Kayn. Burst damage, insane mobility, CC avoidance, and a high fun factor all contribute to this status. I'm specifically targeting this at Silver, Gold, Plat, but it really works at any rank. It just becomes more difficult to execute in the later game when people are more coordinated with high CC tanks and so on. But hopefully this will have something for everyone, and you're able to, even if a team is grouping 5v5 with a strong team fight, you're able to exploit them in some capacity to carry your team to a win. I'm going to give you a short rundown and examples of the Shadow Assassin, and then we'll look through a game and how you can get the most out of the champion in this form, and what to look for. Please hit the subscribe button and like this video if you want to see more tutorials just like this. Now let's talk about the power of the Shadow Assassin. Even if you're not that fed, as long as you're equal or slightly above the enemy in gold and XP, you can utilize your insane ability and burst to force fights or take out a priority squishy target. When you see enemies that are not grouped, you can quickly take them out and focus objectives right afterwards. You can avoid CC like Veigar's massive AoE stun and his burst damage, or something like Zed's ultimate. As soon as he ults, you ult, and before you all ask, yes, I'm maxing W. Why? Because this is the ability that gets upgraded as a Shadow Assassin, whereas Riot will receive that damage boost to his Q. And because it has better damage and CDR scaling than the Q, it's more key to your burst in terms of initiation with the slow and the increased Shadow Assassin range. It's also a great finisher, as you can see in some of these examples. Finally, from a clearing point of view, Q is hard capped versus monsters, so there's really no point there when you can use your W to get even more damage. You can also use your W while moving to get double procs on the Q for that Thunderlord's burst as the Shadow Assassin. Finally, another note why I think Kayn in this form is a top tier carry jungler for most ranked brackets, and it's because of what I'm calling the suction effect. By this I mean, you can force an entire team to burn spells, collapse just to peel your insane mobility and damage, while your team follows up and cleans up. Even if you do die, like I do here, I get Jinx's GA, Gragas is out of the fight after Riven initially engaged, and I've burnt ultimates and sums. You also have an immense chase down potential in teamfights. If a priority target gets low, you can use your E to chase them down and finish them off. Shadow Assassin's E gives you huge MS bursts, removes slows when you enter the terrain, and allows you to get into range for your ult if you aren't able to finish off someone initially. You also have that increased ult activation range, so be sure to use this. Alright, if you're not going too ham and dying like I did just there, let's look at the example game where I ended up with 15 kills and hard carried it. It's important to remember the speed at which Kayn can clear the jungle, as well as the early power he has from his base stats. Make sure you're actively looking for ganking opportunities, counter ganking opportunities, as well as stealing the enemy camps because of how fast you can do that. You want to try get fed early and have that lead on the enemy jungler. Early in this game I've done my first clear and I moved to steal Raptors to see if they're up, as I'm unsure where the enemy Jack started. But as always, keep your eyes on the minimap to observe laners' behavior towards you in case they have wards and see you're invading, and also to see the location of the enemy jungler if he does show. Here I see Jax ganking from behind the Annie, and she moves towards me after I ping her. I collapse and grab a cheeky double kill while burning all of their sums. Notice that once this is done, I don't go back, I don't farm my own camps. Without hesitation, I look at the minion waves and move to steal his Krugs. You want to be able to get your transformation to Shadow Assassin as soon as possible, because in the event that your transformation pops up Darken first, although it's not really ideal, you don't have to wait 3 minutes for the crucial transformation at a really important point in the game. It's also worth noting the enemy composition, and while you shouldn't change the way you play early game to only, camp range champs, for example, just to increase your chance of becoming a Shadow Assassin, just bear in mind the enemy composition and don't change the way you're going to play the game, but be aware of what you might have to do in order to become the Shadow Assassin. But do also remember, in some compositions it will be better to just go Darken. However, in this case I'm focusing only on the Shadow Assassin for this video. I clear the rest of my jungle, I get the second Raptor spawn, and then I go back. Yes, I'm rushing Moby Boots here and then Warrior. The ability to get around the map with Kayn is one of his greatest strengths and should be abused. The faster you can get to ganks and counter ganks, the faster you get your transformation, and the faster you farm. On my way out of the base, because I stole Jax's Krugs and he probably went to his bot side jungle after that, I know he'll look to steal my blue side camps, which side of him are down. And so while I'm making my way to my own Krugs, I am staring at the minimap looking for any clue I can get as to his location. I see the residual effect of someone hitting the vision plant in my blue side jungle. No one ever looks for this, but it's a huge thing to use when you're trying to locate the enemy. Because of this, I spam ping my top lane Malzahar to back up because Jax is most likely going to come top lane, and lo and behold, he does. Malz wasn't really paying attention to the pings or his own ward, so he loses his flash, but at least he lives. Following taking my Krugs, I simply show myself bottom lane. Sometimes it's important just to zone the enemy and help your laners. Especially in most ranked brackets, the enemy will think that because you just came and didn't get anything, you're not going to come again for a little bit. Wrong. I go mid, get nothing, but again, relief pressure, and then immediately I go back bot lane, where we're able to burn Gragas' flash, kill Tristana, and then of course have a stupid tower dive. When playing Kayn, you might do this thinking you're stronger than you really are, but don't worry, because of your kid, you can usually get out of something like this. Just call the play, oh my bad, too greedy, and carry on your way. I don't stick around, I know it was too bad, so I leave and go on about farming my jungle. At this point, I'm 3-0, I have all the kills, and I'm close to getting my transformation ready, and the only lane I haven't visited is top. This is where we fix that. Malz has smartly purchased the pink, and a note to all of you, no matter what role, buy your damn control wards and buy more than one. Always have them up somewhere. It literally wins you games by the picks you can get, the ganks you can avoid, and the towers you can take. Malz clears the ward, I move up, and we chain our abilities together. Azir then flashes, but I am deep inside him. He panics with his ult, and I use flash to escape once Malz secures a kill. Well played from everyone, including Azir. He did his best, and he just had to wait a fraction of a second longer, and it would have knocked me away from his range, but nevertheless, he dies. And thanks to that strong early game and the kill on Azir, we can now transform into the Shadow Assassin. Another side note in general, make sure to defend towers and don't overcommit if your initial spell rotation goes badly. I missed my attacks here on Zed, and he returns damage very well. I have to leave, and I move to smite and take my Raptors to recover HP. However, we see the Jax going into the river because of my pink ward, and Malz smartly and correctly collapses with me to kill him. As with all ganks and kills, look immediately to see what's next. Can you take a tower? Can you take enemy camps? Can you get vision down at the very least? Or in this case, can you rotate mid to counter gank the 3-man goon squad attacking a giant bear and a little girl? I managed to kill Trist, whereas I probably should have gone for Zed as we had Malz coming down from the top lane able to collapse on her, but that's my bad, I didn't pay attention to it. Nevertheless, it's another 2 kills for me, including the Jax kill earlier, and Malz decides to have fun and make the game more interesting with his 200 IQ tower dive. Nice. After holding the mid lane and returning, I'm able to chunk Zed with a few of my spell rotations and prepare for an outplay. He hasn't timed my flash. People, please time your flashes, it's free now. And as my flash comes up before his WCD is up again, I quickly flash, use my W and Q and kill him off instantly. He didn't respect the burst or my flash. Immediately looking at the minimap and seeing an overpushing Azir with Malzahar moving up to the top lane again, I rotate up and grab another kill. Now after this, we're really starting to get rolling. I've got some core items, which of course your Duskblade and Ghostblade, this is what you want to rush. You can also use your E to get back into lanes quickly by going in and hugging the wall. Doing this lets me catch up to the Lulu and kill the enemy Tristana. I then see the Jax roaming through a very good ward in the enemy jungle and decide to wait for him in a controlled water bush because you'll notice that most players will start to greed or go a bit too ham in order to catch up instead of playing more reserved. It's also important to note that I have 8 of 11 kills and I'm involved in 10 of them, meaning I'm by far the strongest and without me they can actually match up quite well with my team. Sadly for him, he is my 9th kill and I do it by counter ganking him and then I take the Mountain Drake. It's imperative that if you have all the kills in the gold and you are the dominant player on the map, that you have to focus objectives and help your team out. An example of this is that I immediately, after the Drake, I go back to the bot lane. I help kill the Gragas after they take the tower, and then I punish the Tristana for completely not respecting Kayn's speed and burst. And this is why I'm recommending him. I've got some core items, I immediately went to the bot lane and got a kill in the ADC, I counter ganked the enemy jungler and killed him too, we took the Drake, and then rotated bot and got 2 more towers while killing the ADC and support again. That's huge for everyone on the team, and champs like Warwick and Shadow Assassin Kayn allow you to move around the map and do that so much better than other champions, and especially in silver, gold, even low plat, you definitely want to punish people's lack of vision, knowledge, and respect towards a fed assassin. Once we are grouped, even though I go deep and aggressive onto the enemy, my team is able to follow up and clean up because I chunk the enemy and also have all of them completely focused on me, the suction effect. My team is enabled thanks to our global gold and boosts from objectives, and now we have an open inhib. Be careful, do not be too cocky. I died 2 times being too arrogant, and it's important to note that you're still very squishy as Shadow Assassin Kayn. And if you go ham or miss abilities or dive into too many, you'll die. And I do that still quite often. It's easy to get carried away when you're fed. Just make sure you're being a bit more reserved and measured. then completely crazy. If you see enemies split off from their team as Kayn, you can punish it. And here I don't fully connect with the Azir on my spells, but I'm able to smite him and ult as he uses his ult. The 9 ping does help. And with the Lulu ult, we decimate their entire team. Use your Q and E to weave around the fights and chase down those final kills. After that fight, we grab a crucial fire drake, and now we can focus on closing out the game. I make up for some of my stupid deaths and help my team open the base up properly. After one of my careless deaths, I respawn, push out top lane to get the wave pushing in our favor, and I immediately rotate to help my team, killing the Gragas and moving to take in Nexus Tower. We definitely greed and stay too long, but at least I'm able to kill the Zed, which is something. It's at this point most people would feel the need to start forcing barons and making unnecessary plays in 5v5 ARAM mid. We have vision control and an open inhibitor, as well as a stronger team. All I need is for my team to wait for mid to push while they push the top lane, and work on the last inner tower while I sit in a cleared bush waiting for a fight to break out, so I can clean up from the side, or I can wait for someone who doesn't respect vision whatsoever. Trist is that person. She aimlessly walks in and instantly dies. I take this opportunity to hard engage on the side, and I have my GA, and even though I play the fight badly, my team is ahead and they don't have their ADC up, so from here we can easily close out the game. If your goal is to get to gold or plat or even diamond by the end of the season, I highly recommend spending some time learning the power curve and abilities of Shadow Assassin Kayn. If you can play a fast and aggressive but measured game, you can definitely give yourself the ability to hard carry every game. Even if you aren't fed, you will do damage and you will cause the enemy team to respect you, allowing the rest of your team to win fights and the game. You don't always need 15 kills like I have here, and just knowing where and when you have to be in a place to punish an enemy or react to bad positioning can be enough to carry you and your team through. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you can appreciate the power of Shadow Assassin Kayn and have learned a bit about how to use it and how to hard carry your solo queue games. Don't forget to shadow that like button, hit subscribe, and talk to me in the comments below. Best of luck getting silver, gold, plat, diamond, whatever your goals are, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.